Welcome back everybody, Jay Ray here. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of pickled onions and cucumbers. I love this as a side dish. It's a great little salad on the side. It's very bright, it's very fresh, tangy. I look at it as a vegetable replacement for, a three-course meal. You got your protein, you got your starch, and you got your vegetable. This is my favorite vegetable to have on the side, especially with a nice, big, flavorful steak. So we're starting out with 2 whole red onions, 2 cucumbers that we're going to slice in half, and then we're going to continue with slicing down to about 1/4 of an inch. About the thickness of a pickle is what we're looking for, no more than that. Okay, we'll set that aside. Bring in the cucumber, pickle thickness, and then I also like to have these cuts, especially if you're using a smaller mason jar for your canning. And then just stack them up like a stack of quarters, slice them down the middle, throw them in your bowl. And a great trick I learned years ago, having gallon Ziploc baggies in the house, when you're cutting and prepping onions, so you don't, start crying. Over the years I've learned to cut onions very, very quickly, because in the past I used to, cry like a little baby when I would cut these up. Give a little pocket of air in there. Give a nice shake. Now all your onions are nice and separated for the rest of the recipe, for when you start building your jars. So now we've got our 4 cups of apple cider vinegar over here on the boil. I'm gonna go 4-to-1 on this, 4 cups apple cider vinegar, 1 cup sugar. Let that come back to a boil. And, one last thing, sorry. A tablespoon of your favorite salt. And then the rest of the ingredients, once we start packing the jars, is going to be a 50-50 mix of dillweed and basil, some whole black peppercorns, and some fresh peeled whole garlic clove. And the whole garlic clove, it's better to cut it in half just before you put it into the jar with the mix of the cucumbers and the onions. And for those who like it a little spicier, like some of my family, I'm going to do half the jars with a nice healthy portion of this jalapeno into each one of the jars, along with the other ingredients, just to give it that little boost in elevation of heat. So let's build a jar now. We're going to start off with a couple cucumbers on the bottom, give it a good base. Fill up the bottom, start stuffing your onions in there, and you're going to want to somewhat tightly pack this top to bottom, because once it starts to actually pickle, the onions and cucumbers are going to reduce in size, because they're going to release a lot of their moisture. So when you think it's full, it's actually not, so you kind of have to cram it down in there just a bit before you add your vinegar solution. So now we'll be back in a few minutes and finish building our jars and adding our final ingredients. All right, and we're back. We've got 6 jars, nice and packed up, ready to go. Got our peppercorn, whole garlic cloves, and our 50-50 dill and basil, and our jalapeno. Jalapeno is going to go in 3 of them because I'm going to share with my family, and the ones that don't like the heat can have the regular, and the ones that do like the heat can have the hot. So first off, I went ahead and transferred my cooled vinegar mix of the 4 cups apple cider vinegar, 1 cup sugar, tablespoon of salt into a measuring cup so I can pour it easier into the jars. I'm going to start out with a half teaspoon of the dillweed basil mix into each jar. Then I'm going to go for the peppercorns. And on a smaller jar like these 12 to 14 ounce jars, you only need really 2 to 3, maybe even 4 if you like more of a pepper flavor. 4 of them I'm going to go with on 3 here, and then I'm going to go 2 to 3 on the other 3. And the reason I'm going 4 on the first 3 jars is because that's the ones I'm going to add the jalapeno to, and pepper with jalapeno just is a really good balance. So now let's go for the cloves of garlic, and we're going to cut them all in half just now. Now it's going to open up the garlic clove, it's going to open up the oils and the flavors. So when we pour in our pickling solution, the garlic and the pickling solution and all the other ingredients in the jars are going to trade off flavors and really combine nicely. Now I'm going to go with a really nice fat, cut seeds and all, stem or veins and all. And I'm going to drop those right in there like so. Final step, our cooled pickling juice. Just start filling it up. Try to do it slowly, it gets a little messy. And that right there is pretty much it. You can top these off, put them on the shelf, store them. Sorry about that, forgot the one step. Push the button down, then tighten them up so you know that you got a good seal on it. And as it cools, because of the warm liquid that's still in there, that will actually pop down once it gets cold enough. And if you want to have one of these tonight, just give it a little shake. Stick it in the fridge. An hour from now, this will be ready to eat. Thank you everybody for watching. Remember to subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.